What's going on, football fans, Raider Nation? Uh, wow, that was a great Super Bowl we watched. For the most part, a very entertaining game. First of all, congratulations to the Green Bay Packers and their fans on your Sergeant Johnny, Packers 96 champs. Uh, yeah, I know there's Indian Packers. I know those are the main three that I pay attention to. Y'all won the big one, and a big congratulations. That was a very great effort by both by the defense. The way this game started, it was like perfect. You had a good 3-and-out, and then after a few possessions later, Jordy Nelson gets the big touchdown pass. Early on, I was thinking Jordy Nelson was going to be the MVP. The way, he had a lot of catches, had some big catches, but he had some drops at the same time. And then a little bit later, there was a pick six by Nick Collins, their Pro Bowler. A big clutch pick six. Ben Roethlisberger, that was his fault. Horrible throw. And then later, the Packers kept the Steelers out of the end zone early in the game, forced to kick a field goal. And then later, the Packers were just clutch. Third downs turned out to be okay. I know they went like 6 for 13, considering that's all right. And then later, of course, the Steelers score right before halftime, thinking, okay, 21-10. We got an interesting ball game after being 21-3 to start. Packers got off to a really great start, just like they did against Chicago. Then later, the Steelers were able to run the ball down their throats, get that touchdown for Richard Mendenhall. Thought, okay, we're going to have a close game. Then they just traded the touchdowns. Greg Jennings scored a little bit later. Really nice throw for the most part. And then later, the Steelers drive down, and you're thinking, okay, this, it's going to be an intense game. They got the 3 points. Packers were able to drive again, though, and kick a field goal. I hate being up by 6. You have to have a lot of faith in your defense, and of course, Mike McCarthy in this case did. I don't like being up by 6. I know a lot of people can see where I'm coming from. When you're up by 3 and you go up by 6, it forces the guys to go for the win, forces them to go for the end zone, and the play calling and complexion is all changed. Not always a big fan of that, but the Packers defense got a stand. I thought the Steelers were going to score a touchdown near the end. 2 minutes is a lot of time. But the thing that kept the Packers big time in this game was the turnovers. There was 2 huge interceptions by Ben Roethlisberger. And of course, later there was that fumble by Richard Mendenhall where Clay Matthews forced it out. Turnovers, though, are the biggest equalizer in this game. Very great effort by the Packers defense. Of course, your defense turns into offense because the Packers got most of their points off turnovers. And I didn't say usually turnovers being the key to the game because that's an obvious. We always know the turnover battle can be a equalizer if you're down in yards. Aaron Rodgers, though, clutch. Sure, he had some rush throws, he had his mistakes, but he didn't throw any interceptions, and he threw the big touchdowns when they needed it. The receivers dropped the balls, as I said before, Jordy Nelson, especially James Jones, who almost laid an egg there. He did come up with a bigger catch later in the game. Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson were the 2 big receivers of this game. Driver didn't have, he was unfortunately hurt. And even in the second half, Charles Woodson was out for the second half. Of course, a guy I respect, a lot of you in Raider Nation should respect. Charles Woodson was out for the second half. You're thinking, oh, their secondary is vulnerable, as it showed right when they came out of the halftime. After the Packers went out, Steelers got that quick touchdown. So, Packers, you guys overcame a ton of injuries and adversity, whether it was Ryan Grandridge or Michael Finley. And, of course, later in this game, Nick Collins I think he was hurt, driver, and then, as I said, Charles Woodson. Great win for the Packers and their organization. I have a lot of respect for those guys out there. A lot of great players, as I said before. Besides Aaron Rodgers himself, I know if you're a Cal fan, especially, I know you love Aaron Rodgers, so those who go to Cal. But even other guys, James Jones and Clay Matthews, a guy I hated in college, but he's a hell of a player. B.J. Raji, Collins, even James Starks, a guy that barely played in the regular season, and he had to step it up when they needed to because Ryan Grant was out. Really great effort by the Packers. For the Steelers, it was an okay effort, not great. Mike Wallace and Hines Ward had their good moments, but the turnovers did them in. And, of course, that set up the Steelers' defense being on the field too much. The Packers didn't run the ball on them very well as expected. I thought this was going to be a lower scoring game, but thanks to the turnovers and the the momentum shifts or whatever you call it, Packers took advantage of pretty much every turnover in this game and got touchdowns, not field goals, until the end out of it. I thought there would be more field goals in this game than there was, but heck, congratulations to the Green Bay Packers, and you guys clearly earned this one and silenced any critics, and all the Favre talk and stuff, you can put that out the window. It was just a hell of a game, and congrats. They didn't necessarily get the Roethlisberger all the time, but they did their job when they needed to, and the defense got that stand in the last 2 minutes. I would have probably gotten a heart attack if I was a Packer fan or Steeler fan in those final 2 minutes, because I thought the Steelers were going to drive all the way. I did. But they did not, and of course, as we know, the Packers are your Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl 45. So, congratulations. Here's to hopefully a 2011 season. Still not enough talks about that. I'll talk about the NFL draft next time you hear from me talking about the Raiders. I'm a Raiders fan for life, Raider Nation forever, but tonight it's all about the Packers, and they're the team that's out victorious. So, congratulations, and we'll see you guys later.